Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor at CriticalBlast.com, Chief Cook and Bottle Washer at Critical Blast Logistics, and sometimes the editor at Critical Blast Publishing. Wear a lot of hats, and you can tell it's had its impact on me. Tonight, we are going to be speaking with, as advertised, the Princesses of Indies. We got one who's the official Indie Princess, but we have the Indie Princesses on, and I have sort of promised that I wasn't going to promise that we would have actual singing bluebirds with the princesses. I may have been wrong on that count because I found out that there is a bird that might just like to sing. So without any further ado, let us please welcome Krysta Grant, the Indie Princess. How are you, Krysta?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I love Fridays. This is the best day of the week. Crap.
Yeah. I wish it
Wednesday,
was.
isn't it? It's DCBD, which for me stands for Dollar Comic Book Days, because I don't find anything on the new comic book shelf to buy anymore. So I just go out of habit, like going to church, and you dig through the boxes and you pull some comic books out, because it's Wednesday. You got to have your fix.
Yeah.
And that's the day the dealers are all there. So we also have with us Miss Daphne.
Late.
I'm going to say Lage.
Yeah, it's late.
I was like, oh, I didn't do this before the show and get the pronunciation right.
Yeah, the four little letters are very misleading.
I used to think I knew how to spell and pronounce everything, and then I was doing a book signing with before the Destroyer books. I was doing had a children's book, and a gentleman came up. I was like, "And how would you like it signed?" And he said, "RJ." I'm like, "Oh, I know how to spell that one." No. ARJAY.
Uh-huh.
Well, fortunately, the R and the J came together. So I'm like, well, I don't have to scrap this one. I can put the A over here and the AY on the other side, and we're good. But I learned to almost always ask. So you guys are busy in comics, and you guys have been at it for a little while now. I mean, just maybe flying under the radar or something, because where are you?
Radar.
Now, Krysta, we've had you on before with Lore, and I don't remember asking how many comics you had done before that.
I've been in the industry for almost 11 years now. Me and my husband have a publishing company called Last Call Comics, but Lore is my first comic I put out by myself.
Okay, so you're a behind-the-scenes veteran, and now you're going to step out in the line of fire and sell something. And Daphne, what about you? You're working with egoworks.com. That's your own.
Well, that's my studio. That's my studio thing. My portfolio site and everything. But I have been publishing comics since 1992. So the first comic that I did starting this entire journey was my first comic, Tall Tales, which is a furry fantasy adventure, kind of like in the style of Disney does Lord of the Rings. And
Yeah,
so
cool stuff.
this series I started back in 1992, right? Like right at the beginning, or kind of like right when the black and white boom kind of started, boom or bust, depending on how you look, how you looked at it at the time.
Depending on which way the money flowed.
Right, exactly. And right now, and so I'm still publishing Tall Tales to this day. But this past year or so, I started working on, as you can see, not exactly bluebirds, but
We got birds singing.
yeah. But this past year or so, I started publishing my own comic that I wrote and created myself, Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which issue two is currently on Kickstarter right now. So I've been at this for a while.
Definitely, and you said it's a furry fantasy. Now that's a trigger word nowadays.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It used to be like, oh, it's a funny animal comic. Then it was like a furry comic. Then it was like, we better say which ones are the anthropomorphic.
Morphic. Yeah, exactly. Well, because anthropomorphic is such a hard word for people to say. So it's like, and what's funny is that, it's like technically it's more like a funny animal book because with furry, because I was involved in furry fandom for a long time. So it's like, so the term furry to me is more like related to the fandom. And of course, it has a lot of adult connotations too.
Yes.
But yeah, so it's like, so I kind of use both. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry.
He sounds like a bell.
Yeah, that's like I said. He's more into obnoxious noises than voices. So so I kind of use both terms, funny animal and furry, depending on which one people understand more. Right? But Tall Tales is it uses animal people pretty much. But like I said, it's more in the style of Lord of the Rings than Game of Thrones.
All right. Well, I've got the. By the way, folks in the chat and folks watching the replay, the links to both of these crowdfunders are in the description below. So feel free to click on those. We have the pages pulled up here, and you have a video which I have not watched. So I'm going to play it, and in the words of a person with a slightly larger audience than mine, this better not be porn.
No. That was my other campaign.
Damn it! I got here late. Well, let's play it and see what we get here.
The continuing adventures of Eagle Raven returns to Kickstarter. Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, Issue 2, is with Eagle Raven, a half-unicorn, half-human princess, exiled from her enchanted homeland Edenron, Turnham, men. Joined by her unicorn uncle Amadeo, they attempt to escape the treachery of the elf Rillian, the traitorous unicorn queen Lilith, and their deadly bargain with the dragon lords. After almost being captured, they are rescued by the horseman Johar Amir El Sahar. Hearing their story, Johar invites Eagle Raven and Amadeo back with him into the city of Dornum, where they are introduced to a mortal world that does not take too kindly to magical creatures in the confines of their valley. Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, two-page full-color medieval fantasy soap opera drama in the style of the Chronicles of Narnia and The Witcher. If you missed the first issue, don't worry. Catch-up levels are available in both digital and physical editions. There's also variant cover levels and add-ons, featuring a special variant by acclaimed My Little Pony artist Mary Bellamy. Also, Help Me Break My Backer goal and also be entered to win an original mock-up. So check out my campaign, and thank you so much for all of your support.
I have no idea why it was pausing like that all the time. I did see that I had the YouTube page for this broadcast in another tab. I'm like, oh shit! Click that.
Also also StreamYard has a tendency to do that, but you can all head down to the link I'm sure that you have in the
in the description below. I don't know why StreamYard does that. I've got new internet this week. I ran speed test on it. the damn thing pegged all the way to the right. I'm like, yes, I'm good to go. And that was the download, which is what I was doing here. Download was pausing on me. So you are at, I can put this back to the screen now. You're at double your goal.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised myself.
So the pressure's off of me. I don't have to be. I'm saying, let's get this funded tonight, folks. And you've got 69 backers, and they're going to stop because we're immature. Yeah, we're all just going to sit there and look at that and say, oh yeah, that'll sit there till the last day because there's no way we're breaking that up. So you're trying to get. What did you say in the video?
Well, 133 backers is how many backers I got on my first campaign for Eagle Raven issue 1, which was a backer record for me for all my campaigns. Between Tall Tales and another book that I also do with JD Calderon, who also wrote Tall Tales, the Oswald Chronicles, we've done like 18, 19 campaigns. On Kickstarter, and that's not even counting all his Indiegogos. And 133 backers broke all backer records that we had on Kickstarter. So 134 it beats that backer record. And what I'm doing is I'm raffling off an original piece of artwork that this original piece of artwork that I made. So once we hit 134 backers, then this piece gets raffled off, either a digital backer or a physical backer. So this is like an original piece of artwork, pen and ink with marker and some metallic accents on it. So that's one of the goals that I'm working on. Also, I should have organized myself better over here.
You'll fit right in.
Right. Yeah. So another backer goal that I have, which of course now I can't find the piece, is right. Thank you. Is another original piece of artwork that once we hit 3,500. If you scroll all the way down to the campaign, you'll see the piece. So once we hit $3,500 in the campaign, everyone gets a print of that piece. The original has already been raffled off during the launch party live stream that I did, but this piece, the final piece, everyone gets a print once we hit 3,500. So that's like kind of like the final stretch goal for now. So yeah, if you scroll all the way down, because it's like, oh, where did I put that? Yeah, again, it's like I should have organized myself. Oh, here it is. Here is, so this is the piece that got raffled off during my launch party live stream. But at 3,500, everyone gets a print. It unlocks this as a print for everybody. So that's So that's the final goal for me here.
So we have a question in the chat.
Sure.
We have a question in the chat that says, so she's the opposite of a centaur or a minotaur.
Right, kind of like more like a satyr, kind of, I guess would be the closest the closest kind of mythology creature to compare her to, like a satyr, but she's half unicorn instead of half goat.
Got it. So now there are human characters obviously in this story, unlike Tall Tales.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. This is not like this is more in here the animal characters are more like side characters as opposed to being the main cast. If you scroll up where you see the main cast, you'll see like there's like 2 furries out of everybody, unless you consider her a half furry.
Well, that was kind of the question I was going to ask was what, and I haven't read Tall Tales, so I don't know. I have read things like Shanda the Panda, and we talked earlier before the show with Omaha the Cat Dancer. So I should feel like I should intrinsically know this answer, but I don't. If the story has nothing to do with them being animals, what's the appeal that's added by making them animals? If it's like Zootopia, if they're just going to work and coming home and digging for treasure or whatever they're doing.
Well, the thing is, it's like one, it's like I have these animal characters in the story because one, I just think they're neat. You know, it's kind of like that meme with the potato. It's like I just think they're neat. Um, and but also the other thing too is like I also like tried to add them as part of the mythology to kind of like explain how magic works in that in this world. So the thing is though, it's like the nobody knows where the animal characters, the animal people characters come from, or even like other type of like more like human sentient animals. So the assumption is that they were created through like rogue pockets of magic that I guess like stretches out throughout the realm. But because what's funny is that these animals do not exist in Ego Raven's kingdom, which is a magic kingdom. Like it's literally like a magic foothold type of thing. Like it's a magical center, but these animal people don't exist there. So it's just I guess like it's just another way to add like kind of like a world building interest to
Variety.
it. Yeah, to the story. Yeah.
Well, you know, I think there's I don't want to say there's a resurgence because it might have been popular all the time. I just didn't pay attention to it. But I am seeing more of the anthropomorphic kind of artwork. I mean, you can't see the little bitty artwork up there, but I just got my print for my original sketch for the Rascals, which you know are a band of punk rock rabbits.
Say that 3 times fast.
Boy, I do, but it just never comes out the same way. And we just had the Gary Shipman was on earlier this week with Titan Mouse of Might. So I'm seeing more of this.
Right, and I think that's kind of like the beauty of crowdfunding in general is that like all because just so that everybody knows, Tall Tales has been banned from the Diamond catalog for decades. So if you try to find it in your local comic book store through Diamond, it's not happening. So crowdfunding was like a really kind of like a godsend to us, because it's like now we were able to put our oh thank you to put our books back out there. And crowdfunding, really, and I think it's really crowdfunding helped with that resurgence, because now it allowed everybody to bypass the entire Diamond system, which really puts a restriction on what gets to the stores and what gets out there. Yeah. So we're able to bypass it, and now we're just able to do whatever stories we want without having to worry about, well, will it sell through a comic book store? Or will Diamond approve it, or that type of thing? So
yeah, and there were still other distributors, but Diamond had everything that was going to be bought, and stores just like, if I can get almost everything through Diamond, why am I going to split orders?
Right, exactly. Even though at one time there must have been like 20 something distributors that everyone was dealing with. So now it's like, oh, we got one. I don't want to deal with 2.
I was in college. I used to, go with my LCS guy down to Friendly Frank's and get, the boxes for the store there and bring them in.
Yeah,
different stores. I mean, Krysta, you and Varian are distributing books. But
Liberty.
if the store doesn't buy them, if the stores don't order from you, then it's not really much you can help get things done. Are you seeing though, now that Diamond has sort of like lost their favor and everybody's having to get DC from Lunar and get Marvel from Penguin, they're getting more and more used to using the different distributors. Are you seeing an uptick for your stuff coming through the normal distribution channels as opposed to the crowdfunded?
Is that for me or Daphne?
That's for you. You're the distributor.
Because me personally, I send my books to Liberty, so they have my books. Yes.
Liberty's doing well. I don't handle much of that. I just take inventory. My husband actually handles like everything for that. But it's doing well. I have no complaints.
Now, your book also is going to go through your own distributorship, I'm going to guess. I've got that one pulled up here.
Yeah.
And you are also funded. So again,
the
pressure's off. I think you were funded the last time we had you on too. So.
I think I was close. I'm not sure if I was funded yet.
All right. Well,
I'm not sure. Either way.
I'm funded now.
Are there any talking animals in lure or any furry activity?
There's some fetishes.
That's what
Not furry. No furries in lure.
No furries in lore. Just some
That's the only
fetishes
place
with
I could see
fetish
that
books.
crossover happening was with the furry stuff. I'm like, oh, everybody's got their thing.
I'll do another book about furries.
Right. Yeah. We're thinking of. We're still percolating an idea.
Yeah.
But if you wanted a direct crossover between I guess like me and Krysta, I did this print that everyone is going to get for the campaign because it was a backer reward.
I'm digging
And
around
then
here for it, and I haven't crossed it yet.
Oh, you just scroll back up. You just passed it. You
yeah.
just passed it.
I just passed it. Okay.
Yeah, because it's not furry, so
you guys
probably
are seeing
threw
it
you off.
Yeah, well, that's it. Oh, there we go. Okay.
There we go, right here.
That is not Chastity.
It is Chastity.
So she's got the invitation to the underground.
Yeah,
oh well, Chastity's got dark hair.
Yeah, well, the images that the original, because I was working from the original, I guess like concept art where she had blonde hair.
She does have blonde hair in
okay.
the beginning of the book, but for a reason.
Right.
So yeah, it is Chastity.
But yeah, some women just keep changing their hair color.
Yeah, they really do.
I do all the time.
I change mine every other week, but no one can really tell. It just kind of washes right off.
But if you want to get more into the animal,
different color.
Yeah.
There is some artwork from Daphne that is animal related.
Yeah, that's
at the bottom.
Furry, yeah.
Yeah.
Because along with this campaign, along with the main lore book, there's also 2 like books you can get on as add-ons. It's the unsolicited book.
I remember the unsolicited book. Yeah.
Right.
I don't think you drew anything in that one.
And the fetishes, no, not at all. And the fetishes A to Z, which I do have a piece in. I do have a furry related piece in there. Yes.
Yeah, you do.
See, I figured F is for furry was going to be in that one.
No,
Actually, it's not. Actually, it's not. It's Z. But you know.
Oh, okay.
We're trying to keep everybody on their toes here. Yeah, furry would have been a little too easy.
little on the nose.
Yeah.
So. You talked about crowdfunding being a godsend, and both of you can talk to this one. Now, Krysta, this being your first book, was crowdfunding being what it is influential at all in your deciding to go ahead and do your first book, or do you think you would have been doing it right about now anyway, even under the more traditional path if crowdfunding hadn't come around?
I would have put it out anyways. Crowdfunding is just mainly helping me printing and shipping. Get it to the audience, but it would have came out anyways, and I just would have sold it at cons and through Liberty.
All right, and Daphne, you've been selling for a while now. Are you seeing? How's the pocketbook?
Well, I mean, it's modest. It's modest. I mean, it's not, we're not talking Brian Polito here or anything.
But I mean, are you able to go to McDonald's twice a week now instead of one?
Yeah, pretty much. Yes,
Okay.
yes. I mean, it's definitely more money than I see at conventions. I mean, the type of money that we raise on crowdfunding. I mean, we haven't seen that type of money at conventions since the 90s. So
yeah.
So it is, it is a big difference. I mean, what's really funny is that before the lockdown happened, I was like up to here with conventions because of that. That's like, oh, why bother with conventions? Because it's like, we make so much more on crowdfunding and we don't have to put in as much effort. We just have to do the book and put it out and blah, blah. Now, after like what? It's like we're going into year 2 of this and I'm desperate for a convention. It's like,
yes.
Just get me to a convention. Like we're literally seriously considering like, maybe spending $1,200 to go to New York Comic Con isn't that bad. It's like that's just how desperate we are.
Yes. Well,
to get back into the convention scene.
Comics has always been the business, where you spend a few $1,000s to only lose a few hundred.
Right. Exactly. So it's like that's kind of like what happened with so crowdfunding made it easy, yes, to put out books. And mind you, it's like, a lot of, I mean, like, to tell you the truth, it's like my book I don't think wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for lockdown. And I decided to, like, you know what, it's like I have all this extra time, I have this book that I've been, kind of like uploading slowly to my main website, because it started off as a hobby comic. Ego Raven started off as a hobby, so that was my hobby comic, while Tall Tales was my work comic.
Gotcha.
And then it's like lockdown happened, and then that's when I kind of like seriously started looking at, let's make this serious. It's like, let's give this a serious go. And because the joke is, it's like, oh, it only took 30 years in a pandemic for me to get off my ass about this. So crowdfunding made it incredibly easy to do that, and print on demand.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, especially color print on demand. So it's like those combos, that combo really made the difference.
Okay, so the other part of all this crowdfunding isn't just the campaigns, but everybody who's doing it has got a more important side job, which is YouTubing all the time. And it's almost, to me, if I were a creator, I would feel like if there was no crowdfunding and there was no YouTube movement going on with all of it, it would be like going to the conventions every day and drawing in front of the audience. And showing them, this is what I did last night in my hotel room, and then getting all their feedback and tip jars.
No, really, that's I mean, it's like, it's just, it's all these little things. Well, little, I mean, I don't think YouTube is little. I mean, because I try to do like a live stream once a week, and then it's like I'm on Krysta's shows, I'm on, her husband's shows, I'm on Randy's shows. I mean, it's constantly, no, exactly. It's like, it's like, that's, the Big Apple show. It's like we're looking into everything. And that's I think that's Mike Carbonaro, right? And it's just, it's just a lot of things that happened that makes this easier to do. And it's like every week I try to do a live stream and and talk to people, and the funny thing is, like, I try to work on the live streams, but in the end it's kind of like working at a convention. It's like, I'm more like, okay, it's for everybody to see what I'm doing, but it's more to converse with the fans directly, which is nice. So it's like a lot going on now.
And Krysta, do you ever do the draw and talk on the live stream stuff?
No. I'm slowly getting back into drawing, but I need to practice a little more before I start showing people my drawings again. I'm out of it.
She's usually the hostess with the mostest.
Yeah.
So you're doing the writing and let other people do the drawing, huh?
For now, yeah.
All right. How close are these books to being completed? I know that you can't really tell by the days of a campaign. Krysta, you've got 18 days left on Lure, and Daphne, you've got, that should be a sticker, by the way.
Eventually, because it has to be a large one. Yeah.
And you've got 20 days to go on yours.
Mm-hmm.
But where are the books at, physically wise?
Right here.
Hers is done.
Mine is done. This is the proof that I got from the printer. It's completely finished. The second the campaign is over, it goes straight to the printer. So I just had to make some minor changes to it. That was a huge issue with me when doing these campaigns, is to making sure everything that I put into a campaign is done. In fact, it's like I'm putting together issues 3 and 4 right now, and I'm hoping to actually get a proof for the trade by September. I mean, that's how far ahead I'm trying to work on these things.
That's I know a lot of people who work that way. The folks that do Miskatonic High on Kickstarter, they're putting out a book every 3 months on schedule, and they're 10 issues in.
Yeah, yeah.
because they waited till they had like 5 issues done before they started the first one.
Yeah. And I have 5 issues that are pretty much complete, and I have issues 6 and 7 that are laid out. So I just have to draw them and ink them, but they're, and the lettering doesn't take me that long once everything is done. And I have a flatter doing, working on the flats for the coloring. So, I really, I don't like making people wait. I really don't. Yeah.
Well, I kind of joked earlier today. J. Scott Campbell did his little after the whole "I fixed your drawing" kind of thing.
Right.
He's like, "Hey, here's another drawing. Why don't you just try to draw it in your style?" kind of thing. And invited everyone. And overnight, all these polished, finished pieces popped up, and I was like, "Y'all just did this on a whim,
right?"
And it's decent, and it's polished, and it's ready for publication. I don't want to hear late from any of y'all from now on.
Right. I mean, it's a schedule. I mean, you really do have to schedule yourself, because it's like, I know that my schedule might slow down a bit once I get to the issues I really have to draw out. Right now, it's all about coloring and lettering. So I'm kind of moving at a good clip, but I have issue 3 scheduled for this year, and then my next set of books don't come out until 2022. So I'm hoping to really take advantage of that buffer. Yeah.
Now, you talked about the page of being you have somebody doing flatting.
Yeah.
And then that's still a term I'm trying to come to terms with when it comes to coloring. As I understand it, it's like, here's the black and whites. Here's your box of 16 crayons.
Right. Yeah.
Color it with this, and then we'll make it really colored later on with like textures and lighting and shading and all that good stuff. Is that's it?
It's literally what they're doing. It's like, I mean, it got to a point where I don't even ask them to be accurate with the colors anymore. It's like, all I'm asking them to do is literally just trace out the shapes of my line work and then put in a flat color. And then later I'll go in and just in Photoshop, just change the colors to what I need, because for some reason doing the shading and, putting in like textures and highlights, I could do that all day, but the flatting is so tedious.
It is.
Yeah. And as long as it's
because Krysta's done flatting. Yeah.
And I guess because as long as it's like one uniform color in a bound area, and you can use that little paint bucket and say, "Hey."
You could just switch out the colors really, really fast. And on my last doing issue 2, I decided it's like, I can't keep the schedule that I want and do the coloring the way I want at the same time. So it's like, there just came a point where it's like, you know what? It's like, I found a flatter who was affordable, and I just sent everything to her, and it just saves me a lot of time. It really does.
Well, we've looked at the books a little bit on each one, but we haven't really talked about what they're about. Krysta, you want to go first? And I know what Laura is about because you've been here before, but the new audience might not have any idea exactly what's going on. And by the way, this is a one-shot, right? It's a full story in one issue, or
it can be, but there will be a sequel.
Okay, sequel, but not a cliffhanger, is what I guess I'm getting to.
Yes, you can read the first volume of it and be good with that, or you can, when I do the sequel, you can read both of them.
And what's it about?
It is Laura is an 80-page adult graphic novel. It's in the style of Saw meets Eyes Wide Shut. It's about this couple, and the wife Chastity is very high maintenance, and she loves to go to adult parties. She brings her husband along because, she wants him to partake, even though she gets mad, and he does it because he wants to keep her, because Chastity's like the trophy wife. And Chastity wants to get into this all-exclusive party called Lore. But to do so, you have to get noticed by Blair. Blair hosts all these adult parties, and they go to all these other adult parties and get noticed by Blair, and they finally get their invite to Lore. When they get there, they realize they should have not got that invite at all. They regret it.
Yeah, Blair is more than just what should we say, sinful, but he's more along the truly evil
He
and
is
malevolent side.
truly evil. Yes, he puts on a good front of the host of all these awesome parties that people want to get into, but there's a deep dark secret about Blair.
Now, is there a supernatural element to this, or is it just like I'm
No,
this really evil person?
this really evil person.
Okay, so hence the Saw comparisons, and not
Yeah.
something like Hellraiser meets
No, there's a lot of instead of like the gore, there's a lot of just torture. Yeah,
Psychological.
so, it's like there we go. I was trying to think of the word psychological torture, physical torture.
So he's a
yeah.
true sadist.
Yeah.
All right. Daphne, anything lighter going on in?
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yes. It's like,
Just a little.
it's like we're
This is
just
the-
night and day here.
This is the best. This is like if I were to have like
we're like night and day projects.
this would be like if I had like one of the artists and writers of Richie Rich on, and at the same
With
time we'd
Tim
have somebody from Vertigo.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like so Eager Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn is a fantasy soap opera style comic, where Tall Tales I like to consider it like an action adventure. Eager Raven is more of a soap opera but in a fantasy setting, and it centers around Eager Raven, who's a half unicorn half human princess, and she lives in Edenron, which is the magical valley of elves and unicorns. And what it is that the elves have pretty much lost all their magic, almost, because they like they like humans a little too much, and so they need the unicorns to kind of like tap into their ability to tap into magic in order to survive the world that they're in. So they're kind of like trapped in this valley because of that. And Eager Raven is the pretty much the half-breed daughter of the Unicorn King Alaric, and pretty much nobody knows what to do with her. It's like the unicorns don't know what to do with her, the elves don't know what to do with her, and the only thing that they could think of is that because the elves have lost all their magic, or most of their magic, the royal family decides that if they arrange a marriage between Eagle Raven and the elf prince Rillian, which is the guy in red on the left side here, next to the dragon, that maybe they can kind of like get magic back into their line and not depend on the unicorn so much. But Rillian has a different plan for the entire valley, as he teams up with the Dragon Lords to overthrow his own ruling family. And as a result, Eagle Raven escapes / is exiled into the outer kingdoms of men. And returning home is kind of out of the question for her, but she's never been outside the valley before either. So now she has to maneuver a life in the mortal world with humans. And this is, this is where kind of like the drama unfolds. So it's like so the second issue is her, escaping into the outer kingdoms of men and getting rescued by the horseman Jahar, and getting invited into Dornham, which is where he lives, and pretty much like starting her outside adventure there.
So you really do have humans,
yeah,
and animals,
mm-hmm.
and these
talking unicorns and
and
elves
and
dragons.
the
Oh my!
and the animal people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, you do have the I'm not going to get all their names right now.
No. So this is so that's Johar, and so he's one of the main characters, and and it's like he's kind of he kind of brings her in, but everyone around him is pretty, aside from him and the fox Morgan, everyone else around them is human.
Okay, and now she's not like lycanthropic or anything. She doesn't go back and forth.
Actually, yes, she is. She is. She can transform into a human form, which is introduced. Actually, it's her. Lycanthropy is the wrong word because that's werewolves.
Lycanthropy.
But she can shapeshift into a full unicorn form and a human form. But she's not very, you see, and that was part of the problem too with her not being able to fit in her kingdom, because even though she was the product of magic, she doesn't control it very well, and she's not very adept at it. And nobody knows just exactly how much magic she does have. Like the arranged marriage is assuming a lot, let's just say.
And of course, she's not the only half unicorn person. I mean, we got this lady.
Yeah, that one. Well, yeah, she gets introduced in the third issue, and she's not quite all that she seems. So
well, she's got a weirder looking horn.
Right,
Probably,
yeah,
I assume
yeah.
it's pasted on.
Yeah. Third issue.
Always with the tease on these things.
Yeah,
always
exactly.
Come back
Can't give everything away on the first issue.
So, God, I should have better questions here. I was going to say let's talk stretch goals, but
Right. Well, most of the stretch goals I've met already. So all the sticker stretch goals are unlocked. Like I said, at the beginning of the show, the only stretch goal that's left is the print, which everyone gets one sweet. Oh, Panther. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that would be a good one. Yeah, except it's not like related to like the moon or the tides or anything. So it's like,
yeah.
It's something she should be able to control, but she can't really. So at 3,500 we unlock the bonus print for everybody. Oh, and also it's like one thing about this campaign. If you really like variants, I have a lot of variants. Not Brian Pulido, epic variants, where he has like 3,700 variants. but I do have a lot of variants if you enjoy that stuff. I have.
I was going to say, we're doing
Okay.
issues 1 and 2, and you've got to catch up. I'm like, nothing comes before 1.
But
then this is comics. We do have issue 0 sometimes.
Yeah, I do have it's kind of an issue 0. It's a prequel story on how Eagle Raven's parents met. It's a prose illustrated. It's an illustrated prose story. Because it's a story about how Eagle Raven's parents met, because a unicorn girl just doesn't come out of nowhere.
Right.
So, and that book I have already proofed as well. So this is the prose sequel, prequel. It's a square bound book, and it's prose with illustrations.
Illuminated manuscripts.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of like the vibe I was kind of going for. So this is available both in the levels and as an add-on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That would my mouse clicker is not clicking when I click things. It's like I got to click it 5 times to get somewhere, and then the second and the 5th one takes. So it's like it does it and then it undoes it. So stickers seem to be the popular.
Yeah, because people they put them on their laptops and stuff.
Oh yeah, mine's covered. Mine's covered.
Yeah.
And some people do stickers, and then some people actually go out to a silversmith and have keys made up.
That key is hot. It's a bottle opener.
It's a bottle opener too.
Yeah.
So I don't. Did you actually cross the goal yet for the keys, Krysta, or is that
that's in the tier?
Okay, so that's an actual add-on.
That's a tier that you can get. You can get just the key in the book. You can get the key in the ring. So it just depends on what you're looking for. If you want the key and the ring, or just the key.
And here is, of course, the key next to the book, which is designed to look like the key in the book that they get,
and
that leads into all the trouble. Yes, it is in the logo. So it's a kind of an important key.
It is.
And then you've got jewelry. You've got the guy's ring here.
Yep.
So I hope you're making a profit. I mean, $75 for a run of keys and a run of rings. I would think that the setup costs would be because I've looked at soft enamel pins and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
and here they are. And if you don't have like 5,000 of them, they cost a lot more per piece.
Yeah,
Well,
they were in between. They weren't cheap, but they weren't expensive. I budgeted everything to make sure that I'd be all right.
We have Pops Van Zant in the
hey
chat
Pops,
checking up on
hey
me.
Pops.
He's,
Pops is
he's
the
making
magic
sure that
man. Yeah,
he
Pops
is.
is the magic man. He got me fun. He helped really get me funded on my live stream, and I really appreciate that. He rallied the troops.
Pops' YouTube channel, and he does more on Facebook, I guess, than I think YouTube's just taking off on him. It took me 3 years. This is what I was keeping track of, and I just filled this in yesterday. I hit the 4,000 hour mark yesterday.
Oh, congratulations! Yeah, no, it's rough. It's rough.
Which is why copyright strikes happening right after that I paid more attention to.
Yeah.
Like, what? No.
Yeah, exactly.
But the fact that Pops isn't at that level already, I'm like, well, that's a crime against fandom that he's not already monetized. But I've subscribed and I watch, so I do my part to contribute to that.
There you go.
And everybody should go subscribe to the madness. And I think CromCon is coming up third week of May here.
Yeah. No, I have a little sit down panel thing, and yes.
So
Sunday at 5.
Yeah, I've learned not to schedule my button-umathons against CromCon. We did that once, and we decided against it from that point on. I'll do what I do it solo. I don't have. Pop's got the big show, and everybody comes in and out. I set up 12 independent hourly streams in a row, and I got to switch one off and switch the other one on. And I'll go from 10 to 10 on a Saturday sometimes. I'm gonna have to do that just to celebrate the 4,000. And thank you everybody in the chat for the congratulations on that. I appreciate it.
We know how hard YouTube is.
Yes. Yes. I will screw it up now that I am monetized, Pop. Don't worry, I'll make it happen. Ladies, I know that you have another bigger, better, and more entertaining stream to get to from here.
No,
we're having. I mean, I'm having fun here now.
Your show is awesome too.
Yeah.
We try, but sometimes we fail.
But not today. Not today.
Not today. Not today. I love talking with all these new creators about the comic books that they're putting out, and like I said, I've been seeing you guys on the Sunday Funnies, on the Indie Vault shows. I ran into Randy by accident, and I was like, "Hey, would you come on and tell us about the Indie Vault Revolt comic?" Is how we got it.
Yeah, which I also have a short story and a flip cover for Indie Vault Revolt, and I'm just going to shout this out right now. So Lone Wolf Comics, who does Night Wolf, a comic about werewolves and lycanthropy we were talking about before. So we're actually doing an exclusive crossover print. So I'm actually working on it right now. So this is a teaser. This is a teaser for everybody. This is going to be a full color print that we're going to be offering to everybody who supports both Ego Raven and Night Wolf when it goes live on the 19th. So if you go to if you go to my Facebook page and you see the link, you go to egoworks.com and go to my Facebook page, you'll find the post where you'll find all the links to that crossover.
So they've got to back one campaign, and then they've got to go back the other campaign.
Yeah. So if you have you get both, you back both campaigns, and then you get this print once I'm done with it, of course.
That's a new thing that I'm seeing. I saw that happen with Top 10 and the Embrace.
Yeah.
Where you had to get both of them. That's kind of like, I love this cross promotion business where you're driving sales on both person's books. I've pushed forever the idea of the trading cards, where everybody's putting trading cards in their books. I'm like, that's great. You're doing it all wrong. And you guys would be a great example of this, because there are so many of you guys involved with the Indie Vault and Arrow Comics, house. But if everybody just, if there were 9 of you and 9 campaigns going, not even simultaneously, just they're going to be going on this year, one of you draw a picture featuring all 9 of the main characters. Remember the X-Men Fleer cards in the 90s?
Yeah, yeah.
And you would put them in the sleeve, and when you got them all in the sleeve,
Oh,
oh
you
my
could,
God,
right,
there's one
yeah,
great big
yeah,
picture.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
if you
Those are
just
fun.
had just your card with your campaign, then you got that character. But when they realize, oh, if I go to these other 8 campaigns to get these other 8 cards, I'll have a complete set and special.
Oh, that's
print.
actually fun. That actually sounds like fun.
Well, the fun was the
Yeah.
chase. It was always the chase that made it fun collecting cards. I mean, if you get the
Yeah.
whole pack in one comic book, you know, why even open it? It's all there. There's no fun in it.
Right, and also you got to really pay attention to campaigns to make sure you don't
yes,
don't miss a card.
Get the tier with the card, and you know, and maybe you know, like have you can have like random autograph cards or something just to make it fun.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, hey, I backed this campaign. BAP2 in the chat, appreciate you being here. I know you got to run. Thank you, appreciate it. But like I backed these 2 campaigns because I wanted to. I didn't even know about these other 7 campaigns, but I like 4 of them. I don't care about the other 3, but damn it, I have to have the card because I'm an OCD comic book collector.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And they know how to make me spend money. So
yeah, I have people already like saying something similar to that once I announced that there was a crossover print coming. So
yes,
yeah,
exactly. That's what it's about. Cross promotion.
Yeah.
Well, it's 8 minutes to the hour. You have another place to be. Where are you going next?
We're going on my show, Geekgasm.
Yeah.
Going on Geekgasm next. So everybody just, you know, when you log off of here, go up to the, you know, go over to the Geekgasm channel, watch the ladies talk there. I think you can have Heroinberg there.
Next week I'm having him. This week is Luke Stone.
Luke Stone.
We'll be talking to him about hybrids.
Yes.
And you can go to the Indie Vault YouTube channel to watch Geekgasm.
Perfect. So you go to the Indie Vault channel. That's already in my subscription list. So I will just pop over there because I want to see how Luke deals with this. That's what I like. Luke's a youth pastor, and you're writing this fetish book. We're gonna have fun watching him get red in the face. So,
Luke's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Ladies, Krysta, Daphne, both of you, appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you.
Had a lot of fun talking.
Yeah.
I hope that you'll come back with your next campaign.
Absolutely.
And as for everyone in the chat, we always appreciate you being here. We wouldn't be here without you.
Everybody in the chat, thank you.
Always. Wouldn't have gotten here without you. And, you know, I'm not officially here yet because YouTube is now saying, you're under review.
Right, yeah.
We have, yes, you passed all the qualifications to be in the club, but, you know, we want to make sure that we're not letting the riffraff in.
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah. Advertising friendly.
So
that's the real thing they're analyzing.
I have between now and whenever that happens to come up with something special for the first ever super chat. That we collect. Whoever's the first super chat will have to get something cool from us, which will probably be something like a keychain. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
Cool.
we've got these Critical Blast keychains. It's got the logo and it's very nicely done. But I'd like to do something better than that. Anyway, thank you all for coming tonight in the chat. And as always, we just hope that you had a blast. We will see you tomorrow when our guest is the Cryptidnals. We will be talking with 656 Comics, Neighbor of the Beast. And we're going to have a lot of fun talking about Bigfoot and chupacabras and black-eyed children and just about everything.